that we build our base case of growth or
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the latest cues from the D-Street, the way the benchmark indices are moving in trade, the sectoral moves as well as the stocks that are in focus today. Also, we'll help you with the expert views as to how should be investor strategy in the current market, which has been extremely volatile. But where can you spot opportunities where you can still make a lot of profits as well? We'll continue to do that as well. But first up, a quick check on how the markets are trading at this point in time. Well, it's a bounce back that you're seeing on the benchmark indices, the Nifty and the Sensex today. If you look at the kind of move that we've seen after these considerable days of volatile moves on the downside, it's a smart move. 0.6% of an upside for the Nifty today, 17,414, and the Sensex moving higher by 363 points at 59,326. That's also a 0.6% upside today that we can spot. Apart from this, if we also look at the broader market indices, they're also showing smart move on the upside today. Mid-cap 100 index up by 1.2%, over a percent gains for the small caps as well. The India VIX is comfortably down today, 4.5% down at 13.9. So that's giving a positive indication as well. We started off another month on a positive note, 41 advances to 6 declines. So the market breadth clearly in favors of the bulls today. Sectoral indices also indicate more greens than reds. In fact, only the pharma index is slightly sulking in trade. That also flat with a negative bias only, not too much of a decline, but the metals are shining bright today. That's the index that's been moving and leading from the front today. 3.5% uptick for that one. The IT stocks are back in flavor. PSU banks up by 2.2% as well. Realty stocks are continuing their upward run from last one or two odd trading sessions. 1.7% uptick for that one as well. So you talk about banks, autos, FMCG, IT, metals, all of them are actually moving up in trade today, supporting the market move as well. In terms of the gainers today, Adani Group stocks, second day in a row, we are seeing a lot of gains coming about, especially for Adani Enterprises. That's again up about 11-12 odd percent after that sharp 14% move that we had seen yesterday. Stock is back up above 15-16. So within these 2 days, we've seen a sharp 20-25% bounce again. Now Hindalco, of course, from the metals pack is shining bright, 3% uptick for that one. Axis Bank, Tech Mahindra, SBI, the other movers as far as the top Nifty gainers are concerned. On the downside, there are far and few between stocks from various sectors, like Britannia is slightly down in trade, 2% down. Power Grid, Cipla continuing with this downward run after that US FDA observations that came about. SBI Life and Eicher Motors, the other laggards at this point in time. But time now to welcome our guest for the day. Mr. Hemang Jani joins in. He's the equity strategist from Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Mr. Jani, thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion on Business Today TV. Your thoughts on the markets overall? We've seen this smart bounce, but the big question is, will it sustain? Because we've been seeing constant volatility in the markets. The markets have been stuck in a broad range from a long time now, 2 months especially. But are there any initial signs that we are ready to break out of this range?
Hi Sakshi, I think market has been underperforming and the incremental data points, both in terms of earnings, the GDP numbers, the global data points, all these are not very encouraging. But what we must understand is that the market, has already corrected almost about 7 to 8% from the top. And typically in India, you don't see the slowdown lasting for too long. So the consumption slowdown that we are seeing, there is a sense that at some point it will revive, and that should definitely help revive the overall markets also. Also, one more data point, Sakshi, is that for consecutive 3 months, the Nifty was down. And
Yeah.
historically, we haven't really seen that kind of pain extending beyond that. So both these anecdotes are definitely in favor of the investment, though the news flow is not that encouraging.
Absolutely. But what is behind this bounce back? Like you pointed out, we've not been seeing very encouraging data really coming about. Even yesterday's print of GDP, it's 4.4%. That is considerably slowed down if we compare it on a year-on-year basis or even on a sequential basis as well. Most of the economists did talk about a base effect, but it was still below the consensus estimates of about 4.8 to 5% that we were getting from most of the economists as well. Then what is really cheering the markets today if the macroeconomic print is not that good? Is it again the bounce in Adani stocks that's leading to this bounce?
I think Sakshi, it's more about the oversold territory of many sectors, including banking stocks, and some of the other broader market stocks, where the selling or the downside was significantly higher, and you do see some technical pullbacks in the market. So I would read that as a technical pullback. And if you look at the banking commentary, let's say Federal Bank and some of the banks where we had the analyst meet, they are sounding quite positive on the overall credit growth and profitability growth. So I think people would kind of realize that the overall growth outlook is not dented by what is happening globally and in our own markets, and it will remain selective in terms of which categories are slowing down. So that is what is giving the comfort.
Right, absolutely. So, what would you advise as a strategy to all the investors in this current market? I mean, should one be very stock specific, or should one really focus on some of the themes or sectors that may perhaps continue to perform well despite this overall volatility?
So, Sakshi, there is a popular saying that good prices and good news flow don't come at the same time.
True.
So when we look at the news flow and the sentiment, it's surely not great. But when we look at the prices, many stocks have corrected about 10 to 20%. The index itself is down 7 8%. So if you really want to be sensible in this market, it makes sense to kind of go out and start accumulating the stocks, particularly if you have a investment perspective. So we
Sure.
do think that we should go out and do some shopping in the market.
Absolutely. Time for some shopping in the markets when the Nifty is down by about 7.5% from all-time highs as well, and many fallen angels out there. And you've also shared some interesting data points with us about 10, 12 stocks that you've spotted that can actually give investors returns of up to 50, 53% or in the medium to long-term perspective as well. So that's something that we're going to be discussing. Let's talk about the big heavyweights on your list. Reliance Industries, Infosys, the likes of SBI as well. If you can talk about, and also Axis Bank from the banking space, talk about these few stocks on the top of your list. What kind of expectations can one have, and are these the stocks that one can actually look at amid the current volatility?
Absolutely, I think these are the bluest of the blue chip stocks. Most importantly, Sakshi, it's not only about how much the stocks have fallen, but what were the results that this company's delivered, and what sort of earnings growth are we really
Sure.
looking at for next 1 year, and eventually what kind of upside we are looking at. So from that perspective, we do like, I think, Axis Bank. The numbers have been extremely good for last 2 quarters. Company continues to surprise on the return on assets part, which is definitely a very comforting factor. State Bank has corrected almost 20%. And if you see this quarterly numbers, the net profit was at par with HDFC Bank, and overall outlook is looking very very good. Infosys, the IT overall as a pack has done well. Management commentary continues to be good. Surprise on the margin front, that's helping. Reliance is one stock where The correction is sharp. The news flow is still not that great. But our take is that the newer businesses will continue to show good traction eventually. And from a risk reward point of view, it is looking quite compelling.
All right. So Reliance, Infosys, SBI, Axis Bank, the top, top of the charts right here, which Mr. Jani really believes can actually give us sharp returns from the current levels as well, ranging between 18% for Reliance Industries from the current levels, 13% for Infosys from the current level. SBI also can actually run up about 39% even now after having run up very sharply in 2022. And Axis Bank also can actually give us returns of up to 33% as well. So that's a considerable hike that you can actually spot. Apart from this, I wanted to ask you if you can talk about the tourism space as well. This has come up as a big consensus buy for all the investors and analysts as well, especially with the kind of bounce we've seen in the travel and tourism space post-COVID. From this space, have you spotted any name, and what can one look at in case one really needs to bet on this space?
Absolutely. I think when we look at the travel and tourism space, it continues to do well. People are kind of aggressively going out, both for leisure as well as for the normal, business travel is really doing pretty well. And when we interacted with the managements of companies like Lemon Tree and Indian Hotels, what is coming out very clearly is that even when the tariffs are higher by about 15 to 20%, the occupancy rates are still very high, 75, 80%, or in the northwards of that. So that is suggesting that the earnings growth picture is going to be very good. So we have selected Lemon Tree as a stock idea, and where we are looking at a very strong earning growth of 36%. And
Okay.
our target price is 115, which means that from current price, we're looking at more than 50% growth in the stock price.
Wow, so more than 53% growth is what one can really expect. A target price of 115, the stock is somewhere around 79 right now. A strong earnings also expected on Lemon Tree, so that stock can be definitely in focus as well. Today, especially, and in the last few trading sessions, we've seen metals pack really bouncing quite sharply as well. Anything from the metals basket that also interests you, that you believe that investors can definitely pick an opportunity currently?
So Hindalco is something that we've been liking for a long time. Recently, the stock has corrected about 30%, and there were news around aluminum duty, etc. But our take is that a large part of that negative news is priced in. Overall outlook for Hindalco and the Novelis is extremely good.
Yeah.
So we have a buy view with a price target of 570.
All right, so 570 as the price target for Hindalco, which actually translates into a 30% upside from the current levels as well. So that stock also can be looked at in case investors are looking at the metals picture currently. What about the auto space? We've seen 2 or 3 years of considerable, challenges that the auto industry has faced. First, it was the COVID, the zero sales, productions being hit, the semiconductor shortage as well, the commodity prices, raw material prices, all of that really heavily impacting the earnings as well as sales of these companies as well. But gradually we've been seeing a pickup in the sales as well in both exports and domestic sales for both four-wheeler segments, two-wheeler segments, and also some of the auto ancillary pack as well. Going forward from here, what are you really spotting as opportunities from the auto basket as a whole?
So from Auto Basket, OEM part, we like Ashok Leyland. I think this is one company which has delivered consistently good monthly numbers, and no other uncertainties like global slowdown or any other issues in terms of the margin pressure, etc. And we think that this is one CV cycle is on the way up. So this is one stock which is clean, clear story, and we are looking at almost about 30% kind of an upside with a price target of 185. And in terms of auto ancillary, we like Samvardhan Motherson, which is
Okay.
a company which is into auto components, and globally they are doing pretty well. And recently, my management has interacted. Management has given a good guidance in terms of growth. So I think from auto ancillary perspective, Motherson is something that we like with a price target of 100 rupees.
Okay, Samvardhan Motherson and also Ashok Leyland, two companies from Auto Basket that one can definitely look at. For Ashok Leyland, again a 30-31% upside from the current levels is expected. Samvardhana Motherson can actually give us a return of up to 22% from the current levels as well. So these two stocks can also be on the viewers' radar as well. Apart from this, if we speak about the current theme that I think I discussed with you as well before, it was on the upcoming summer season, the heat wave really coming in, and investors really looking at some opportunities, be it in the power basket, looking at the power demand that has been generated, or looking at, say, the sales of colas, etc., that will start to pick up pace right early, much before than expected as well. From this theme also, have you picked out anything in your list of 12 stocks?
So Varun Beverages is something that we've been liking for a long time.
Yeah.
And as we are entering into summer season, I think there's going to be a very good traction across the beverages space. And I think this company has expanded the product basket, geographical presence, very steady state kind of a mover. So we like that company for a target of 1550, almost 18% kind of an upside.
All right, 18% of an upside for Varun Beverages as well. Apart from this, which are the other stocks that are on your list that you believe can still give a good return from the current levels as well?
Yeah, so Sakshi, PI Industries, which is an agrochemical company, has come out with a good set of numbers, and we really like this stock. And we're looking at a very significant upside from current price level, almost 36% kind of upside is what we're looking at. Cement space has seen a bit of a volatility of late, but our sense is that next 1 year, most of the companies will deliver good, volume growth, and some of the raw material prices have come off. So JK Cement is something that we like within the mid cap space, where we are looking at a price target of 3260, about 17% kind of an upside.
All right, understood that. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Jani, for being with us on this show to discuss a whole lot about which are the fallen angels that investors can really look at accumulating amidst this market volatility and still continue to make a lot of profits despite the overall decline that we've been seeing in the benchmark indices. Perhaps a smarter way of investments that investors can look at. Many thanks. Always a pleasure having you with us on Business Today TV. I hope all the viewers definitely took the list down, and do speak to your own financial advisors before taking a pick right here as well. And we'll continue to discuss more about the markets through the trading session. So do stay tuned on to Business Today TV. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also continue to be engaged with us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Many thanks for tuning in for now.
I am Rachna Dhanrajani, joining from Royal Ranthambore presents BT Golf Hyderabad edition, and I am joined by
Dheeraj Mehta. I work for Oberoi Hotels. Currently, I'm the general manager at the Trident in Hyderabad.
I'm Chatradhar, work for Client Associates. I head up the practice and the executive director of the firm.
Awesome, sir.